Hello, my name is Nick Mohammed Haikal, and for my part, I will be explaining the social hierarchies within the countries of Korea and France. Okay, this will be the table of content. First, definition. Second, Korean culture. Third, French culture. And lastly, the conclusion. Now, what does hierarchical structure mean? Okay, hierarchical structures refers to the social positioning, okay, that a member of society is given at birth. And this is very, very unlikely to change. Many collectivistic countries still practice this type of culture, namely China, India, and of course, as per topic, Korea. The Korean hierarchical culture, how Confucianism influenced Korea. Okay, now, history of Korean hierarchical culture. Confucianism in Korea. Well, Confucianism came to popularity in traditional Korea within the 15th century. This philosophy and way of life shaped Korean society and political climate till today. In Korea, all social interactions is dictated by the Confucianism value of hierarchy. In Confucianism, they really like structure and order. So that is why this is very important to them. Okay, there are four types of relationships in Korean hierarchical culture. First, father and son, i.e., the son needs to respect the father more. Second, king and subject, where the subject needs to respect the king. Third, husband and wife, meaning the wife needs to respect the husband more. And lastly, friend and friend. This is the only type of relationship where the level of hierarchy is the same. But there are other important determinants. First is age. Age is one of the prime determinants of how one is treated and how one treats another. The older you are, in general, the more respected you will be. But also, you have to remember the social positioning, meaning your rank in your work, your family name, and etc. is also quite important. And the other one is gender. As some of you might saw in the last slide, the husband and wife. The wife needs to respect the husband more. This explains it. Through the interpretations of Confucianism hierarchical culture, women were and still are particularly disadvantaged. They are always expected to obey and follow the men in their lives, i.e., their fathers and their husband. Now, we move on to the France hierarchical culture, or lack thereof. Now, what is the current social structure in France? Well, it is the egalitarian social structure. This is quite literally the opposite of hierarchical culture, meaning everyone is at the same level. There's no hierarchy. As per the constitution from 1958, France is an indivisible, secular, democratic, and social republic. It guarantees that all their citizens, regardless of origin, race, or religion, are treated as equals before the law and respecting all religious belief. Okay, how did this happen? Well, the French Revolution happened. During 1789, the elimination of the bourgeoisie was the rich folk of the time, the aristocracy, the business people who were in business with the aristocracy. Okay, so during this time, it was a crumbling of social hierarchical culture in France and in Europe as a whole. Okay, the commoners in France acquired better education and the ability to purchase land, which equals to more power. This made them see no more use. in the aristocracy in France, i.e., the revolution. Okay. This is a phrase that became popular during the time. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. Mhm. It's become very widespread during the age of enlightenment, i.e., during the age of the first French Revolution.